And we are, in fact, back with episode something or other of the Long Voyage. And
Part two.
yes, part two.
You
And
see, that's the one thing we're not going to get mixed up, is
no,
this?
we know that it's the second hour at least. You'd think that me, being a historian, would actually be able to tell numbers apart. You know, but it's because it's not dates and it's not years, and therefore they're not important numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, guys, you are making your way back towards CharismaToAC, as the capital is called,
Mm-hmm.
and you have just woken up to apparently at least, a party of soldiers moving past, a fairly large number of them. But you avoided detection, so what do?
We go. We keep moving. We
Okay.
assume that they're past, and
I think Thrody would definitely suggest waiting just a little longer until we almost can't hear them or can't hear them anymore, just in case, one of the many people had to look behind him for whatever reason.
since Sindri, I'd like Sindri to make a perception hearing. Since, well, let's face it, his vision's screwed, but hearing, he might be able to pick out any sounds of anyone nearby that might have been split off from the group and is foraging.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it's foraging, or bringing up the rear in case of an ambush or something. You have a couple of people following a ways behind or something. Okay.
Yep,
So you roll. Oh my goodness! Yes, you have no problem at all. You hear. You do in fact hear a small group. You'd guess maybe 5 or 6 people, who are in fact following behind the others. They're not being particularly quiet about it, but but they are following. So do you wait until they've gone past as well?
Of course.
All right.
Sindri will, as quietly as is humanly possible, have his bow ready,
Of course.
and he'll see if he can get at least Frothy and maybe, well, certainly everyone else's, but maybe Frothy's attention, and hold up a hand indicating at least 5, saying, so taps his ear to say, "I hear something," and then 5 with the palm of his hand open. Can Frothy see anything?
Yeah, he can.
Gets ready.
You're close enough that you can. He can see you.
Okay.
So
we
sorry,
wait for them
what did you
first.
say?
I think Thrody nods and quietly fastens his shield. I didn't remember. Are they fastened shield or are they carried shields?
They're carried shields.
And then, quietly picks up his shield.
Mm-hmm. Well,
just to be ready.
Of
basically.
course. But these guys just keep walking, and they're chatting amongst themselves. They sound a combination of annoyed and bored.
Okay, as long as they keep walking past and don't trouble us.
They're talking about, whatever harlot they paid for a fun night, or what the incompetent asshole who did the cooking the night before, what slop he had to, he presented them with for eating, and stuff like that. They don't pay any attention to any of you guys, at least. I mean, they don't know you're there, and they're not being overly observant. They're just walking along. So, you let them pass, and they do, and for long, you are once again left alone in the woods.
This might be the time we start slowly and sneakily moving, avoiding the main road.
Yes. Well, you move, as you say, slowly and sneakily. At least for a while. I'm guessing that you won't keep moving slowly, because then it's going to take you a very long time. But
yes, but I do imagine we want to,
yes,
for the most part, avoid the main road.
Yes. You you can easily avoid the main road. You find you find smaller tracks that you can follow. You see several villages along the way. You realize that Tirglass is clearly fairly densely populated. At least, I mean, compared to the Southlands, definitely, because it's not unusual for you to be standing in a place where you can see a village in one direction, and then you turn your heads 180 degrees, from left to right, and you can see another village within, they're that close together that you can actually see from one village to another. And obviously some of them are fairly small places, maybe 5 or 6 houses, and others are pretty big by Southlander standards. Maybe 150, 200 people living there. That's pretty significant for the Southlands.
Defo.
So the question here is, do you avoid all these settlements as well?
I would suggest we do, but I am...
Yeah, Baggy would agree.
All right.
Yes, I think we do that then. And I
Should be able to forage for food and basically be self-sufficient while we move.
Oh, you can definitely do that, and you find occasionally you can shoot something edible, small deer, or if you have the patience for it, find a stream and shoot a couple of fish. Just stand still long enough.
Yep. So yeah, avoid settlements of any kind.
Sure. You do that, and it does mean that the trip is it's uneventful. It's also fairly long.
I mean, well,
it took you 10 days to get from the south coast into where you are. It takes you 10 days by going the way you do, without a guide, avoiding all the settlements, all the major roads, having to forage for food along the way. It takes you, I'd say, 8 days to get to the capital.
Well, at least we're not on a time limit this time around.
No, you're not.
I mean, what about maybe we could take the opportunity to do some role playing along the way.
Yeah,
fill out the time.
Absolutely.
I mean, imagine that Gylfi's got a few things to say about
yeah
what just happened.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Gylfi's like just because he had like nightmare ravaged night the last night that he was saying, so he's kind of pale, like he looks pale and very underslept, and
I mean,
he looks he's in hiking condition, but just barely.
Yeah. And I mean, the rest of you obviously are aware that he does have these nightmares. He's not quiet about it. And from the sounds of it, he's been fighting off quite a lot of Phalans during the night.
The question is, who's going to take the opportunity to talk to him and help him through the latest bout of utter horror?
That's a good question. Who is?
Seriously, guys, you don't all have to volunteer at the same time. All right, fine. If no one else will, I will.
Well, I think at some point, Baggy will actually suggest to Ilva that she takes the goes and then talk to Gylfi because it's Ilva.
Yeah. Okay. Question is Ilva in a position to actually talk? Does he need to be muted at this point?
Oh, right. It's muted.
That is a thing.
It is unfortunately a thing.
Yes.
That is a thing. Yes. So, you want Ilva to talk with him?
Well, Baggy will at least suggest it.
Yeah.
I mean, she's the one that he seems to connect to the most.
Yes, that's exacta.
Right.
I mean, Sindri will offer to go with you, seeing as he also kind of knows Gylfi quite well.
The thing is, you know how good I am at comforting people. It's not going that well.
Compared to Sindri,
Do any of us look like we are masters of comforting?
well, Buggy is our most gifted bullshitter, so
That is true. That is true. I suppose I could bullshit my way out of it.
What did I miss?
They are trying to find a volunteer to go cheer up
Gylfi.
who is clearly not doing too well.
Oh, please
they're
please
all,
start pulling straws or something.
they are all trying to push the job off on someone else.
no, it's yeah.
I don't think Thrody would be particularly well suited for him. I think
Oh,
his advice would basically be, you need to harden.
Yeah, I think that's why Baggy suggested that Ilva did the comforting.
Yeah, the problem is she would say the exact same thing. That is why she's like, yeah, well, the thing is, I can try, but I'm not gonna promise it'll work.
It's a hard world
All right.
after all.
How about this? You give it a try, and if he doesn't take, I'll try. I am good with words, or so they say.
Well, at least I'm not as blunt as you guys.
Hmm.
She tries to find Gylfi somewhere, staring into the abyss somewhere.
Yes. Well, finding him is not difficult. You're traveling with him for, obviously.
Are you sure about that?
Yes. You're
Okay.
traveling with his physical form.
All right.
Whether his mind is there, I leave up to him.
Gylfi?
He like his head is deep in his hood, like pulled up. Like no matter the weather, is like his hood is like pulled up. It's like he turns slightly to like,
Hi.
Hmm.
How you doing?
I'm fine.
Mm-hmm. How many times has bullshitting you worked?
He doesn't answer. This is.
Yeah, you're not fine. What's up? She sits down, indicating to him that she's not leaving before he, comes to terms with what is going on.
Deep silence.
Yeah, he like thinks for a second, and asks, well, like, and now I need to formulate the question.
That's fine.
What?
No, Samson, you're not gonna bark now.
I had a. It's just the whole mission thing. It seemed awfully familiar.
She's looking a little confused, not entirely sure where he's going with this.
Just let me reiterate. Does those things sound familiar to you?
What sounds?
A foreign force God comes in your home under the guise of friendship and then sets aflame your home, murdering your family. Does not seem familiar to you?
I didn't say it didn't. Of course it seems familiar to me. Why?
It's just, are we? Did when I was standing on the tower, I didn't see this fort, this town. I seen Herborg. I seen our families screaming, running around, trying to escape the flame.
That's how it is. Yeah, I see the similarities.
I suppose the only difference is the color of the cloak, I suppose.
No, the difference is the city was already taken by someone. We freed it again. Well, of course, the fly went a little awry, so there's no city left, but there were more survivors this time.
You freed it from whom? Most of people there were not soldiers. They
No,
were,
that's why I helped them out. At least the ones I could get to.
and that's all fine, but still, it just seems wrong. I know we are soldiers. We are supposed to do what we are told, what we are paid for. Just seeing those people run for their lives.
It's horrifying, isn't it? I imagine you had a even worse look at it from upstairs, but you're probably gonna see something along those terraces. Again. You're probably going to be in the middle of it again. I'm not saying that you have to cast all your emotions aside, but learn from them.
Learn from what? Become
Every experience we go through, we can take something away from. You might not know now what you've learned from this, but later on you'll see, that was what.
I'm just wondering how can we now be still those in the spirit of vengeance? We can still hunt down every Phelan thing, but how are we different from them right now?
How are we what?
How are we different from Phelans right now?
How we are different.
Yeah.
Well,
When
we
you-
didn't
when
poke
you-
our own in the backs, did we?
What difference does it make to those people if we're there, if we're like Southlanders, or were we Tirglasian? What difference do those make? What difference does it make when your flesh is searing to cinder? When you see your family burning to ash, what difference does it? When you see a mountain of a woman drag down your husband's son just because he was wearing armor and wielding a sword.
Wait, are you talking about me now?
I'm talking about all of us.
Well,
I'm not absolving myself.
no,
I
obviously not.
I have blood on my hands the same as all.
I'm just worrying that you tie yourself down with guilt too much. You knew from the get-go that we were going to have to remove the entire city, so they had nothing to defend. There was no way in any of our plans that we were ever gonna leave a settlement for them. You heard the plans, but you didn't think it would be this gruesome.
I suppose I just cannot give such easy absolution to myself as the rest of you.
I find, well, I wouldn't say comfort. I find some kind of ease in knowing that I'm doing it for something bigger. Yes, it's horrible. I'm not gonna say that I didn't find it horrible. No, you don't have to like every aspect of what you do, but you still have to do it. At least keep your goal in mind. Why are we doing it? Shut up, dog. No, Gilfie! Don't talk back at me!
If you name the dog Gilfie, I'm gonna laugh my head off.
No, the dog's name is actually Samson. But, no, you just have to look at the bigger picture. I'm not saying that you ever have to condone what we have to do, but we still have to do it. I didn't want to leave... GM, what was the name of the first guy we left behind?
I didn't hear that. I'm sorry, you laughed it away. What did you
Sorry, what was the name of the first guy we left behind? Or something.
Oh yeah.
Your Glacian names fuck me up because they all sound alike.
the first guy that you left behind was Otherin.
I didn't want to leave Otherin behind, but we didn't have a choice.
Don't equate those. That was not the same.
I'm not saying that, but we do things we don't want to because we have to.
But if the end justify the means, as you say, like
not all means.
How we can be like vengeance for family and friends aside, how can we take moral high ground over people like Phelan's now? In the end, they just did what they think was right for their version of greater good.
Yeah. They made their conscience choice. Some of them probably even didn't like it. I think the ground of the matter is it's life, and we're in the middle of a war. Moral high ground aside, I don't think anyone in a war can ever claim to have the moral high ground. No one can. unless they are really crazy. I know Raven Lady tries to, but people like Liam makes her have to anyway do things she doesn't want to. There's a big difference in what you really want and the real world. We're caught in a war. No one wants the war, but the powers put us in it.
Ba-dum-tsh. Excellent
Nice.
observation.
So, whether we like it or not, we have to do what is right by our sword. Of course, then there's the bastards who ends up saying, nah, we rather want another sword, and turn against their own folk, their own men, their own country, their own people. We haven't turned against their own people. That's our moral high ground for now. No, it wasn't pretty what we did. But if war is anything I've come to learn, you do a lot of things that's not pretty. I almost puked earlier. I mean...
I just
She pats his back.
I suppose it doesn't. I suppose it doesn't come as easy to me. Like, you know,
No.
taking.
If there's one thing I like about you, Gylfi, it's the fact that you really want to do the right thing, and you want to have everything to be perfect in your topic, and never ever step down from the light, so to say, but I'm afraid that's also keeping you back a little. I'm not saying completely throw it away. I like that you're asking those questions, because without those questions, we could very quickly just forget it all. But it's hard to see you struggle like that. I can't help but still look at you as younger brother. Sorry about that, though.
I suppose like we are the only like remnant of the family that we have. So
We are.
So it's only fair that we do.
Well, I've seen you as a little brother ever since first time I taught you how to hold a sword properly so you didn't get beaten up by your brothers.
Oh.
But yeah, it really takes a toll on you. It's hard to see. But no, you're not alone.
Well,
Right.
it just seems like every time we do, every time we do things like that, it just seems like I'm on the. I don't want to be on the opposite side of everybody else. I just cannot see this as the others see. I just cannot justify some things like as easily as others have.
Do you think they're justifying it?
By the way, how they approach it and enjoy it. Yes.
Gylfi, I'm gonna tell you a secret now, and you must promise never to tell the others. I think the reason they enjoy it so much is because they're men.
Elva, I hate to break it to you. I might not be, you know, a full-fledged warrior, but technically I'm still a man.
Yeah, but you're very different. Of course, you're still a man. I'm not disputing that. But you don't really do the same things the same ways. But yeah, they like fighting. I can't really say I don't like fighting, because I do. I like challenges, and the stronger the opponent, the more fun I have. I'm not gonna lie. I do. But, no, I did not enjoy seeing all the chaos, but yes, I did like beating up Liam's men. Especially the fucking bastard of a fat fuck inside the fucking house. She continues muttering below her breath for a little while, but he's dead now, so it's fine.
Who's dead now? Says Sindri, having snuck up on them from somewhere.
Ilva jumps slightly because she did not hear you, then she swears loudly and then looks up at you. The big fat fuck, the guy that was in charge.
Oh, you got him, did you?
Yeah.
That's
I couldn't help it, I just had to take the kill away from Baggy again.
I'm not intruding too much, am I?
Nah. Look, he even has a face. I took his hood up without him noticing.
Are you doing alright, Gilfie?
Do you want a honest answer or a nice answer?
I appreciate honesty. You know that.
Not so much. I'm not. I cannot honestly say I'm doing really well.
I didn't think so. Well, at least Silver's the one who came up to talk to you.
That's for the best. You might have not liked what I said. No, I'm just. He said just that to Sindri. That.
I mean, does Gilfie say that? I wouldn't like what I'd hear.
Yeah.
Why, have you said something? Have you said something bad about all of us?
Yeah, probably. Depends how you look at it.
Ilva lifts a brow. No, he was just merely concerned that you seem to like it.
Like what?
Murdering and killing and burning people alive.
I see. Not. Well, how can I put this? I suppose you're right, Gilfie. I mean, I take satisfaction from certain elements of fighting and killing, and I was trained as a hunter, so I've learned just feel satisfaction from that element of it, I suppose. But I don't enjoy the idea of burning people, no. But I accept that this is a necessary evil of war, and I have to put myself in a position where I can switch off any sense of empathy I might have to other people's suffering when it comes to the situation. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to function. If I wept over the pain I caused others through my actions, then I'd never stop.
Where did you find that switch?
Switch?
You wanted to switch it off. Your empathy. Did you find it? The switch to do that?
I would say it's probably somewhere near his sense of humor.
You think?
Sindri distinctly doesn't smile.
At least he's found the one to switch off his smile.
He's not grimacing as such, but he's sort of gone very neutral, and he's like, it's something you learn. Again, hunting, training, you learn patience, you learn to look at... I remember my father teaching me. First time I had to hunt game. Never think of what you're aiming at as a living thing. It is simply a target. You have to constantly look at it that way. Whatever's anyone coming at you, you have to do everything within your power to train yourself to not think of a warrior coming forward at you with any weapon as a person. They are an enemy. They are a target. That is death itself coming at you, and you've got to meet him and kill him first. Or her, of course. It's not easy.
I suspect here it won't be as much hers as it is.
No.
The women don't really fight.
But I also understand that what I'm saying might not reach you very easily, Gilfie, because we're not like the rest of us. I'm going to say something now that might shock you slightly. Despite the fact that you are very different from any of the rest of us, I do actually like you.
Hilda drops her jaw.
I think that you are in a situation as mad and as blood-soaked and as horrible as this. You are still a fundamentally good and decent person, and that is a very rare thing. And I think that it is also painful for you to be that, considering who you are keeping company. But I hope, sincerely, that you continue to hold on to that moral compass of yours. Because where you can quite easily say that you're still a good person, I'm not entirely sure I can. Say that I'm one anyway.
I don't know if I can call myself a good person.
The fact that you are as conflicted about what you've had to do as you are is an indication that yes, you are. Good people can do bad things. Only if they forsake their morals completely to make it easier that they stop being good people. So as I said, I hope sincerely that you don't lose sight of yourself.
Ilva's just sitting there with the silliest, biggest grin on her face.
What?
Nothing?
Oh, I see. So your dour older brother figure who hasn't got a sense of humor, can't, be philosophical, can't offer life advice to people because he's too much of a grump. I see.
Not that at all. It's fine. It's nothing.
I'm sure. All right. Anyway, I think I've said
The silly grin haven't left her face, by the way.
That's fine. Well, unless you're happy for me to stay around, I shall head on out. I might explore the area slightly, make sure everything's still quiet. Hang in there, my friend. You have a long and full future ahead of you. I do not want to see you lose that.
Have a long and preposterous wife. And on that note, we shall swap over to the others for a moment because they have waited very, very patiently. So, Baggy and Frothy, what are you doing?
Baggy's somewhere nearby eavesdropping.
All right.
And that's really what he's doing.
Eavesdropping.
I think Thrody might be as well, offering up his own commentary in a hushed tone whenever he disagrees with something being said, which is often.
Yeah. Same for Baggy.
So Baggy and Frothy are sitting in a bush talking.
Yes.
Frothy and Baggy sitting in a bush.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's
I don't
grunting.
think it quite works like that.
With
What do you rhyme with bush then?
sexy tush. One of you's got one, and it's probably going to be
That's gotta be
so
Frody.
Buggy is there, engaging in his eavesdropping and his other usual.
No,
nighttime.
just the eavesdropping this time.
You say that. I'm not.
It would
Yes.
also be
And
very
as his player, I mean it. So
Okay,
It
fine.
would also be very creepy and not like Baggy to be grunting in a bush while eavesdropping on
Exactly.
something.
No, I
Yes.
don't think he would do.
Oh,
But
fair
the
enough.
rest of you
It's not
guys,
exactly sexy talk.
Nope.
in any case,
Okay.
you guys. So you are listening in, and
I think at some point, Frody turns fully to Buggy and says, "I'm glad you at least agree with me, Uncle Buggy."
yes.
And what?
Uncle Baggy.
No, agree with him on what?
They've been
Life.
yeah.
I think Baggy just nods sagely and then keeps on eavesdropping because this is cool stuff.
Treating that boy with a gentle touch will only serve to get him killed in the future.
It is true, Frody. I agree. And I think it is up to us to be tough on him then. Because he needs
Oh,
it
shit,
if he's
he's
going
in.
to survive.
I think Gylfi is in for a hard time.
Don't say that when it's Baggy talking.
How do you suppose we go about it?
I'll have to give it some thoughts. I think for now the others have spoken with him, and let's see if that cheers him up. And
Well, we can always hope that more combat will ease him into it. Perhaps if he has to take an active part.
well, he has to. He's part of Almost crew, so there's no other way to go about it.
No,
Anything
I mean,
else would be a disgrace to his family.
Yes, I just meant perhaps next time we shouldn't place him in the tower. Rather, we should place him on the front lines.
Yes, I agree.
Brilliant plan. That help him stop him from getting killed by putting him on the front fucking lines.
I think the logic behind this is maybe if he kills some people, he'll get more used to killing people.
Toughen up, you know.
It's like teaching people how to swim by throwing them in the deep end.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
It should probably be added that in war, it is a tried and tested method.
Yeah, throw
Yeah.
them in, and if they want to survive, they're gonna kill people.
I mean, let's face it. There have to be at least some, using Republican Roman terms, there have to be at least some Hastati that survive to go on to become Principes and Triari.
Yep. Indeed.
Also, I just want to quote from the film Dread and just say it's all a deep end.
Yeah. In any case, guys, you
Any case,
Yep. Any cheese.
Well, I think if at some point it looks like the conversation is about to be over,
Yeah.
Frody will make sure to get back to where they were before, so so they don't run into him eavesdropping.
Yes.
Ooh, I'm so tempted to say that I want to roll a perception hearing again, but I'm not going to. Too distracted talking
I mean,
to.
we
Yeah.
are muttering. So
yeah, I'm gonna roll it.
I so hope you succeed. I do. Yes, look at that.
Well, you do hear both Frothy and Baggy moving away from, a safe distance.
It's just they're talking, and then she goes, There's a very obvious something's not right here look on her face, and it's more annoyance than surprise. Then she just sighs.
It should be said, Baggy isn't moving away, it's just Frody.
Okay, so
Yes.
no problem.
I think he'll excuse himself to go be the lookout or something.
Well, Sentry
Well,
did
that's what-
leave.
Did or didn't?
Didn't you leave?
Yeah, I said yes that I would be going on patrol, so he'll probably meet up with Frody, or he'll patrol the other side that Frody isn't on.
Mm-hmm.
So, you move off on patrol, Sindri.
Mhm.
And did Frothy as well, or what was
Yes,
that?
I think it's
Yes.
best to patrol in twos in case we get
Yes.
attacked.
Yes, so you move together. All right.
Mhm.
Well, the following then happens.
Oh, God.
We all die!
No, you don't. But you
Aw.
come across. You've been walking at this point. You've been walking for 4 days. So you're halfway to the capital. But of course, you don't know how far it is still. But it's about 4 days, and you come across. You come across a. It's a hill, or maybe not really a hill so much as it looks almost like an artificial mound. Everything is pretty flat around here. You see some sheep grazing over there and some cattle over there, and you're pretty sure if you look far enough in that direction, yeah, there's definitely a village over there. But it's pretty, it's in the distance. But there's this hill in the middle of everything, and up on the top of it, there's a almost like a stone table, very rough, obviously. There's a couple of 3 smaller rocks that is holding up a larger rock on top of it, and you're pretty sure that it's been flattened.
I think Frodi points to it and says, "Do you think that's one more of those druids things?"
Quite possibly. So
It does
basically,
look kind of like an altar, which is something obviously you're not completely unfamiliar with from down south.
okay. Is it how big is it though? That's the thing. Is it big enough to be used as an altar?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, God, that's not what I was thinking of. But okay. And that's the only stone there.
Yes.
Might be in our best interests to go around it.
What? You don't feel like offering up a hand?
We're going around it. I refuse to rise to the bait this time. This is serious.
I think actually, when you refuse to rise to the bait, Thrody looks at you for a moment, and then, I assume you turn to go leave or something. He puts a hand on your shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Sindri,
Further.
I think perhaps I do owe you an apology. A while back, I might have been a little rough on you with my teasing, and I was not in the best of places after we left Hyrbol, and I think perhaps I took some of it out on you.
Oh. It's understandable. We were all affected by that, and while I can't say that I realized that was your method of coping with it, I do. It's good of you to tell me, and thank you. My part, yes, I did perhaps allow my feelings and my temper to get the better of me when you engaged in this. So if I've caused you any enmity, then I apologize for that as well.
Yeah, let's strive to work together as proper Southlanders.
Yes, of course. But
And now we have an anthill to go around.
we do.
And as you say that, you hear a groan from up there.
Oh, not another headless person.
I don't smell fire, I don't hear horses, I just hear groaning. There might be someone up on the altar.
Well,
I still say we go around.
You will hear no complaining from me.
Sounds like whoever is up there is in considerable pain.
Then they can continue to be in considerable pain, I think.
No, that's fine.
I mean,
Yeah, as Frodi sees it, these druid people have already proven to like inflicting pain upon others, and he's in no hurry to have that be inflicted upon him.
Sindri sighs and says, "If we try and go around, we'll still be close enough to it that I imagine that Gylfi will hear groaning and will want to help anyway. And considering the state he's in, I don't think we'll be able to stop him."
Oh, don't worry. I think between us, we can definitely stop him.
And this is where they realize that Gylfi wouldn't be the issue, it would be the very curious Ilva.
Well, Gylfi technically still have to roll for his curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
I
Well,
suppose actually Throdi would have to as well.
That's true. You have curious too, so yeah.
Go on,
Yes.
do your thing. Please fail. This will be
Boom,
fun.
boom, boom. What do we need to roll?
Gylfi succeeds. Gylfi does not give a fuck.
Well,
See,
that
what-
depends if you can actually hear it, because they're out on patrol.
It's a will roll.
A will roll, okay. Because I rule that while he's curious, he's also well aware that these people are nuts, and he doesn't want to mess with them again. Lest a giant headless man appear.
Yes.
And he fails spectacularly.
Frodi, unfortunately, does have this. Yeah, the giant headless man thing was nasty, but we are standing in a fairly open place. The hill isn't that big, and I can't see any druids.
I think he looks around, then looks around some more, and says, "Of course, we could avoid having to manhandle Gylfi if we just go up there and put them out of their misery." And then he starts walking.
Yes.
There's no excuses.
You walk up there.
Yes, Sindri sort of groans and says, "Working together now. Yes, this will be delightful." And follows him.
Yes.
I like
he-
that he is disguising his uttermost curiosity in logic.
Yes.
Yeah, and he will make sure to try his very, very best to keep an eye out from nasty people. Or
Yes.
for nasty.
Well, that isn't too difficult because, again, as I said, it's open territory. You will be occupying the highest point within, at least a mile, maybe more, and there's nobody there more threatening than a potentially horny cow. That's the most threatening thing in the distance. Well, maybe a ram within the flock of sheep might be slightly worse, but
But
Both could be dinner, so
indeed both could be dinner. Although a fully grown ram would taste of lanolin. But
is the horny cow male or female in this case?
the horny cow in this case would be female.
Oh, fair enough.
Otherwise,
I
it
think it
would be a
technically
bull.
is if you call it a cow.
Yeah, otherwise it would be a bull. But
Yeah, fair enough.
in any case, you get up to the top. No druids, but there is a young man up there. He's splayed on the altar. He's tied down. He can't move. He's literally you see when you get up there. There are little. There are cuts in the stone that go all the way through the stone so that you can fasten ropes and tie them around. And they've been used to tie his arms and legs to the stone, and he's spread-eagled. He's also buck naked. And he's been unmanned very decisively.
Delightful.
And he hasn't bled out yet? Oh my god.
Well, he's in the process of bleeding out.
No, not really, because then somebody seems to have applied a red-hot iron to it.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen of the viewing audience, this is a service announcement. Welcome to first-hand experience of how druids deal with homosexuals in this game. I think- Yes. As we get up there,
Yeah. He's insensate. You just out of it.
Well, that's not quite what I was expecting, but it's also quite what I was expecting.
At the risk of stating this is barbaric.
Well, we are in a uncivilized land.
Set the Vikings.
I
I love
mean,
that. I love
Have you
that.
noticed how few times a week they shower? Or
Yes.
bathe?
Right.
Yes.
Mhm.
I mean,
You
we
even-
might have been on a ship, but they choose not to fucking bathe. Ew.
Yes, uncivilized, smelly people.
Indeed.
Mhm.
Well, the two of you are looking at a. Well, he will die, there's no question. It's just a matter of him suffering for quite a long while before he expires this way. The bleeding has stopped, but he's as I said, he's insensate.
He is either going to die because he gets too exhausted, or because he, thirsts to death, or the cold will take him.
The cold, or his body has gone through a dreadful shock, and it'll get infected very quickly. It already is. He will be,
Yeah.
he's gonna die, and it's probably not gonna take that long. Might not be while you're standing there looking at him, but
I have an unpleasant question for you, John.
yes,
Am I familiar with other kinds of divination?
yes, you are.
In that case, Thrody looks thoughtful for a while and says, you can divine in the entrails of creatures.
Ew.
He is dying anyway, but it would be.
I would ask you to slit his throat first, of course.
Oh. All right then.
Question is, do we have anything we need answered?
Do you? Do you think we might be wise to ask where we go from here beyond going to the capital? Out of character, would we have would we have a translation of the name to Southlander words, or in this case English for CharismaToAC?
Yeah, the Emerald City.
I feel very Wizard of Ozzy.
Yes.
But
Do not follow Yellow Brick Road, though.
no, it's true. But the point is, I think beyond the Emerald City is basically what Sindri says.
You're right, that might be a good idea. And I'm sure this poor sot wouldn't mind being put out of his misery.
His breath is rattling, and he's in
Yeah.
6 million kinds of agony.
Sindri nods, draws out his knife, which he has some skill in now.
Yes.
Goes up to the man, puts a hand on his. Where?
Yeah. Puts him out of his misery.
Puts a hand on his forehead, whispers to him in his native language, something along the lines of
Sleep.
Go and be at peace, or as best he can.
You see his lips forming the word for thank you. The word in Tirglas for the old in new form. For
Yes.
thank you, because he realizes it's about to end, and he just wants the pain to stop.
And then it does, because Sindri.
Kills him.
This is the first time I've actually had a character try and slit someone's throat, and that's been the most merciful way of killing them.
Yeah, and he dies
Bleeds out.
very, very swiftly. He's already lost a lot of blood. He loses consciousness within seconds, and he's
All right. Keep an eye out, Sindri. This will probably take a little while, and it will be bloody.
It's never troubled me, but be quick as much as you can.
I think something like this might give more detailed answers than normal. I hope.
I like the I hope.
And then I shall attempt to divine in the entrails of a freshly killed human being.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. What are you looking for?
I think, as Sindri suggested, where to go / what to do after or when we reach the Emerald City.
Yes. You have, in all of your life, tried quite a few different manners or methods of divination, and most of them work to some extent. For you, the bones have always been, easiest. But the point being that bones, generally speaking, are the easiest because you can ask pretty simple yes or no questions. Or, simple questions in general and get something approximating an answer from them.
Yeah, they tend to be vague, don't they?
Not always. Sometimes they're pretty clear. But it's still, you have to keep it simple with the bones. When you do something like this, you can get very, very great detail. You can get, but as an Arasari about 800 years into the future of this, by the name of Rourke, says, you have to ask very specific questions. Because then you get, you get answers based on that. But you did ask some pretty specific questions, namely, where are we to go once we get to the
Emerald City.
To the Emerald City, and what will happen. And of course, you know that when you say what will happen, that is never set in stone. But there's a reasonably good chance of, you at least getting something, but nothing is ever completely set in stone.
It's more like it's most likely to happen.
Precisely. But as I said, you've tried a number of methods for divination, and you've never, ever had anything happen quite like what is about to happen when we return after this break.
After the commercials!
And okay, guys, we will be right back with the final part of the Long Voyage for this week, so don't go anywhere.